Guardian? Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Hey! Hi. Welcome to episode 2 of Eyes Up Guardian, recorded Thursday, September 7th, 2017. We made it past launch day. The game's out and it's kind of cool. So we had Destiny 2 finally launched September 6th, so midnight in every region. It was a staggered launch, so everybody in Japan got it first, or New Zealand, Australia, and then worked its way westward until we finally get it here. I wanted to stay up and play, but had work in the morning, so I decided, you know what, better go to bed now, wake up a little early in the morning, like 6:30, and we'll get a couple, at least get it started. And then I got home last night from work and just went really deep into it. Tried to stream a bit of it, but OBS kept crashing, so one thing I noticed, kind of off topic, side tangent here, Xbox is really pushing people to use this Mixer app for streaming on their platform. It is such a not hassle, but it's not obvious how to use Twitch any longer. I liked having the ability to kind of snap it in. Okay, we have all the information there, and then keep it up and running on the right side. Now when you have the little display panel on the bottom that you're streaming, as far as your latency, your viewers, things like that, it covers up a lot of really good information, especially on a game like Destiny, where you have your subtitles, you have information about your super bar got moved to the left. Either way, I don't like the placement. At least make it, semi-transparent. I digress, though. So, since we're only doing half-hour shows here, we kind of got to get moving. Went ahead and, I didn't went ahead and did anything. So, a few weeks ago, Bungie, one of the community members, not community members, fuck it, it was I gotta stop swearing on this show. A community manager reached out to me and said, hey, we're sending out some packages to a certain group of people. We wanted to include you on that list. All right, awesome, sure. I don't know how you know who I am. Because, honestly, I've streamed Destiny a few times before, but it's not like I ever built an audience, especially not for Destiny. But either way, they found out who I was, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll send you one. Like, all right, fine, great, absolutely. I will gladly take whatever you have to offer me, because either way I'm going to be ranting and raving about how much I love this game. So a little extra, it's not even incentive, just kind of like, oh, here's some goodies. I dig it. I dig it. So, like I said, that was a few weeks ago, and I figured I wouldn't get anything until the game was getting closer to release. However, a few days before release, I still hadn't received the package. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're going to do it on launch day or just before, but we had Labor Day here in the States that Monday. So Tuesday night, the game was going to see a release at midnight. Okay, well, they're cutting it kind of close, and then the night before Labor Day, I think it was, they sent me a message like, hey, something went wrong with the let me pull up the message itself here, because I can't remember it, and I don't want to misquote something like this. So, okay, so it was Tuesday they sent the message then that something happened with the package we sent you, and the codes didn't print right, so I'm sending you a PS4 code here. Enjoy. At that point, I followed, like, well, thank you for the follow-up. However, I play on Xbox and don't have a PS4. May I ask what was in the package? So my understanding at this point was I'm not getting something. I'm not getting the package that they had said they were going to send. Like, something went wrong with it, which sucks because I was looking forward to it, and was really excited, but something happened, things happened, that's fine. I'm nobody. Why would they send me anything to begin with? So, can't really complain. And then no response. Like, oh, okay, well, maybe I just overstayed my welcome. It was being annoying. Fine, whatever, I get it. I'm annoying. So, game comes out. I play it Wednesday morning, and then come home from work, and lo and behold, there is a package sitting on my doorstep from Activision that was overnighted. So, of course, I immediately start getting excited again, like, oh my god, it's actually here. They actually were going to send me something. So, I got everything here. Audio listeners, I'm going to describe it kind of best that I can. So, ugh. And I will put up a link in show notes where I put everything on Imager. You guys can just view it there. So, get a shoebox sized box. It's just a black box with the Destiny 2 decal printed on the front. Inside, though, there's a few different sets of goodies. Kind of first and foremost, so they sent a pack of the Control Freak grips, I guess, for the analog sticks. So these are supposed to combine ergonomics and innovative design. Control Freak delivers a better gaming experience. Designed with a hybrid thumb surface for exceptional grip and comfort. Mid-rise height for... I know the cats are much more intriguing than I am right now. That's why we pivoted the camera a bit. But they're supposed to give you a faster aiming without sacrificing accuracy, make you better PvP, PvE, but better quickness and control. So, I've not played with any of these before. I went ahead and... They're shaped like Ghost. Went ahead and slapped them onto my controller. They feel a little weird. They're definitely higher. I mean, they just essentially clip on and off. I'll play with those today and see whether or not they're worth anything. I mean, they're alright looking. Not anything super fantastic, but you know what? If it makes me better, I'll take it. Beyond that, then they also included the official Destiny coloring book. Got some glare there from the studio lighting. Supposedly you can go out and buy this one already. When I posted it to the subreddit, somebody had mentioned their wife got it for them, and they're saying it's retailing for $15.99. But it's Destiny 1. It's got some really in-depth... Try to get that to show up properly here. Pictures to color in. Now, I don't know that I will actually color any of these pictures because, one, I'm not good at coloring, and two, it'd seem like a waste to ruin it. But at the end of the book, then they also have key art and things like that. So, it's cool. I dig it. Probably the coolest thing, though. So, I mentioned last episode that Bungie's partnered up with Pop-Tarts and Rockstar Energy Drinks. Now, everybody's still in a tizzy because they can't find either in stores. Because stock hasn't rotated out and, you know, X reasons like that. But this was the box that they were actually talking about with the code not printing right. I got a little box of Pop-Tarts. Now, personally, not a big fan of the brown sugar cinnamon, but whatever. I'm not going to complain because my fucking name's on the box. I swore again. I can't help it. So they got my gamer tag on the box with the Titan. I don't know if the Titan was intentional because I play Titan, but I lost it when I saw that. Like, apparently you've made it once your name gets put onto a promotional Pop-Tart box. So I was super, super hyped about that. And then they did go ahead and include the code to text it to for the XP boost. So I'll probably pop one of these open and eat it, but otherwise give it to my son or something. But yeah, I was super jazzed about getting that. So I haven't seen anybody else post anything about it. As far as why they selected me again, I don't know. Probably just wanted another voice that actually shouts into the void, hey, check out Destiny, check out this other stuff, because they need somebody to, shamelessly whore their product, which, because it's a good product, I enjoy it. I have no qualms about doing. And it kind of harkens back to when I covered games professionally. I got paychecks, so I guess professionally. When game companies would give me products to promote their games, and there's always an ethical dilemma with that, but whenever I actually enjoyed the game itself, I felt no qualms about, like, oh yeah, sure, I dig your game, you're going to give me something? Why not? So there's that. And then checking the subreddit and kind of forum posts and whatnot, game launch is going well, everybody's digging it. However, the biggest kerfluffle right now seems to be revolving around game shaders. So those not familiar, shaders essentially are cosmetic items that allow you to change the color of your gear. In Destiny 1, you would get a shader that changed the color of all of your gear in one go. So helmet, chest, legs, arms, and with the launch of Rise of Iron, it would change the class-specific adornment. So like the Titan butt towel, the armband for warlocks, and the cape for hunters. So, Dexter, what are you doing? So crazy today. It was a much needed piece of equipment to have, because as you collect gear, you get mismatched pretty easily, and most gear had a different base color than the other stuff you're using. So at level 20, I think it was, you got those, you got to equip them, and then your character didn't look like hot garbage. Destiny 2 apparently has changed this. Now, I've not encountered them in-game yet, so it's all based on hearsay and what I read. But supposedly the shaders now drop, and you can apply them to one piece of equipment. So you can mix and match. So you can apply it to like your arms, legs, chest, helmet. You can supposedly even apply it to weapons and ships. The problem with this now is, though, that shaders... Cats are chasing each other throughout the house. They've got the wiggles this morning. So the problem with that, though, is that the shaders don't stay in your inventory. When you use them, they're gone. So while you wouldn't think this would be an issue, if any game like Destiny, or let's say Diablo, for any instant, you're constantly swapping out gear. You're constantly getting new stuff, equipping it, and losing it. So what the speculation is that this will create an artificial scarcity of these shaders. So what this may force people to do is then to go to the Eververse, which is the in-game real-world money shop, to buy shaders there. Thus, creating a little microtransaction market for Bungie. And there is just an absolute outrage about this in the subreddit, to the point where you were getting, several posts a day about it. And there's one post that's kind of like the Ultra Mega Thread post, which has 38,000 plus upvotes. So people are upset. They are losing their mind. And as like the type of way that I play, I'm very vain. I like my characters to look nice. And I understand that the starting gear I get is going to be just hot garbage. It's not going to look good, and as I work through and progress, fine, whatever, I'll deal with it. It's how it was in Destiny 1, it's how it's going to be here. However, when you hit level cap level 20, that's when I start looking like, okay, how do I make my character look essentially awesome? In the past, in Destiny 1, I didn't necessarily care what the stats on my gear were. I just cared that it looked cool. Now, of course, that being said, I was really focused on light level, but what I would do is I'd find a piece of armor that I really liked and just infused the higher level into that. So I'm wearing like year 2 Iron Banner equipment with their last Christmas event butt towel and just a bunch of mix match pieces that I thought looked really, really cool together. But of course the armor itself is all different colored. Like I think the Iron Banner Titan gear was green and brown. And the Christmas thing was blue, and the legs I finally equipped were white with, you had chroma options for it. And you can't go rolling out like that. The Fallen and definitely the Hive are just going to mock you and laugh and say, oh, that's a fashion faux pas. You got to commit to a look. And so shaders make that possible. And there are a bunch of different colors, so you can be like a pink Power Ranger Guardian. You could go classic, jet black. You could do blue with yellow highlights. Essentially, there were dozens and dozens of different shaders to choose from. And you had 9 essentially slots that you could swap out the shaders on the fly. It worked. It unified the armor, made it look good. And now being able to color different pieces of equipment is great. I love it. The idea is good, but the fact that they get burned up when you use them is kind of crap. Because again, you like to play around. Like maybe some people have team colors that they use when they go into trials matches. And others might have like guild colors that they use when they do raids. Some people might just have, these are my social space colors. And the fact that you can't swap that out now really does kind of suck. And if it is moving towards a microtransaction thing, that is kind of a bad move on their part. Now, the way I would go ahead and propose that we fix this is, when you collect a shader, you collect a shader and you can apply it to any piece of equipment as much as you like. If you want to color all of them, great. If you want to color just one, fine, do that too, but it's permanent. Not saying account bound. The first game was account bound, but maybe to make you work for it, go ahead and make it individually character based. I'll give you that concession. Or you know what? No, scratch that. Make it account bound, because it was account bound in the first game. Make it account bound here. And then if you want to do the microtransaction thing, go ahead, throw some new colors in the Eververse. Like, here's all the colors you can get in the game. They're a decent selection. They're not all going to be like toxic trash dump or backed up sewage pipe colors. Have some decent colors in there, and then make some special ones. Throw them in the Eververse, where if people want to go ahead and buy those, they will. I have supported Eververse in the past. I buy cosmetic items. WoW has probably drained my wallet the most in terms of that, with all the mounts and pets that you can get. But things that don't impact gameplay but still look cool, because again, I like my characters to look pretty, so it only makes sense. So we'll keep an eye on that and kind of update as things go along. Bungie, I've noticed, is kind of hit and miss about things they want to talk about versus things they don't. So hopefully we see an ideal solution to this soon, but don't hold your breath. Because they put out a game, they're entitled to make their own rules. We just play in the world that they made. So we'll wrap things up here with kind of first impressions of the game itself. Let's see. So I played for about 40 minutes Wednesday morning, and then 8 until about 11:30. So maybe 4 hours total. I won't be spoiling anything here because, again, the game's like a day old. So as we progress and a few weeks get put in, yeah, we can start talking spoilers a bit. But for right now, we'll leave some surprises. So overall, it feels a lot better than the beta did. I remember complaining while streaming the beta that the Titan felt very clunky, heavy. He didn't feel fast and lethal. That has been resolved without doing any of the slotting of different ability points in the build itself. As of right now, I only have one subclass unlocked, which is the Void Striker, I think it's called, for the Titan itself. They've been giving me different ability points to spend on it, but I'm kind of happy with the abilities I have right now, so I'm not spending those points to unlock the new abilities. I don't know if that's hurting me by not unlocking new slots. It's just kind of a trial and error thing right now. But he feels quicker, deadlier, and is a lot of fun to play. Chief complaint with the game right now would be there are some bugs to it, specifically visual elements. So, case in point, the Titan I made is just absolutely hideous. He's got a very generic face. He's got blue eyes. I don't have blue eyes. There's no option for a magnificent beard like the one I wear. There's no beard options, period, which is just ridiculous. My Titan is not sight impaired, which kind of sucks. I'd like to get him some spiffy specs. And he's got this weird, like, poofy ostrich peacock hair pulled back. So he's kind of hideous, but I'm not going to remake my Titan because I've been playing with him since year one. You know, he's my Titan. He just kind of has to live with his helmet on at all times, which is fine. Live with helmet on. I went ahead and set that option because I was greeted with my hideous Titan. But certain cinematics still take the helmet off of your Guardian. So when I opt to keep helmet on, I would like to keep the helmet on. And it doesn't make sense because, like, in one scene, your Titan or your Guardian will be walking around without their helmet on, and in the very next scene, same setting, talking to the same people, helmet's right back on. So it's inconsistent. Along with that inconsistency, these cinemas will kind of pick and choose whatever gear they think you should have as far as what you're wearing. Kind of the same situation with the helmet on, helmet off, was I walked into a cinematic, which there are a ton of new cinematics, like you complete a mission cinema, you complete a zone cinema, and it's definitely a lot more storytelling packed into it. It's a lot better experience. But before getting to this cinematic, I had collected a few pieces of gear, got them equipped. So I start the cinema wearing the old gear that I had, and then when the camera shifts to a different section, all of a sudden wearing the new stuff that I just picked up. When talking to a certain character who has well, they already revealed her, the lady with the hawk that you meet on Earth. The hawk's sitting behind her, but he is freaking out and shaking, and I did stream it, so you can catch it there, but just it's not even like calming down. It's just like he pounded down way too much caffeine and sugar and is shaking like a mother. It's just little things here and there, which I understand. New game, you're gonna have bugs. They're gonna patch things and get them fixed and working. But I don't know, it's part of the joy of playing something day one. Is you get it's hot and fresh and sometimes messy, and you get to work through it and see it. Beyond that, the game definitely moves. At least the story section. I haven't done Crucible or anything like that. I'm intent on hitting 20 first. It moves a lot faster than the first game did, where it felt like I spent a ton of time exploring the Cosmodrome and then finally to the moon. I'm 4 hours into this. I'm level 9 already, and I am hitting the 3rd planet. Like, it's super short. The only social zone is still the farm on Earth. The other 2 planets I've been to, there is like a hub, but it's not really a social space. It's just where you talk to a person and pick up new quests and can buy items. So it's all very condensed. You can progress through a few different story missions to get you out of the zone, but there is a wealth of content to do outside of it. There were a couple different adventures that popped up while I was playing on Earth. Actually, I shouldn't say a couple different. It was the same one over and over again about the Fallen trying to mine Glimmer, and you'd have to follow them around and kill specific targets. And it dropped a lot of gear, which was nice, but I could see it becoming very grindy. overall experience as far as like navigating the menus and getting to the navigator and selecting missions and whatnot seems overwhelming right now. There's a lot going on, and I'm sure that's just because it is a new game, and I'm trying to take everything in. So that'll take some getting used to. I imagine it's going to become kind of second nature. But one thing that is throwing me is that when I open up my character sheet on Destiny 1, on the left-hand column, as you're viewing all your weapons, there was an arrow that would point down that would take you down to like your emotes and your ships and things like that. Now you actually have to press down on the D-pad to get down there, and I'm still like instinctively moving the cursor over there. I'm like, oh, well, this is missing, and I don't know. It's weird because my Titan had been at max level for so long, and I was just doing kind of end game content for so long, that I've forgotten what it's like to actually have to level up and work and pay attention to what it is I'm doing. I'm not like really cruising around on autopilot. I'm weak. With that, so being weak, I'm only level 9, but I don't know if it's a bug in the game, but I'm not seeing enemy levels. There is a weird character next to some of the names, but I don't recall actually seeing like a number, an actual numerical representation of what their level is. But things like dregs and I forget who the sniper class for the Fallen are. Either way, they never gave me problems before, but now I got to pay attention to what it is, and I remember now things like them constantly hiding around corners, and the level design itself is much more intricate and detailed. There's a ton of more hiding spaces. It's not as big and open as like take Mars, for example, where it was big open spaces. Only when you started getting into some of the ruined cities did you get some of that tight corridor fighting. It's a lot more confined spaces now, and so the enemies have a ton more hiding spots, and I can't imagine doing it on any other class aside from the Titan, where you can just then run around and punch them in the face. And I got some legendary arms last night that whenever I get hit with a melee ability, they have a chance to create a small AoE explosion, which is awesome because essentially I can turn my Titan back into a boxer. He can just run around and punch everything to death, be it drag, splicer, tank, just boom, all dead. So I'm digging it. I'm trying to live stream as much of it as possible. Again, OBS has been giving me a hard time. But hopefully we can get a few other people to play with. Clan systems have not been implemented yet. They're saying it's going to be a couple days before that fully gets rolled out. But, I mean, we have the clan, Horror of Casitas. Even if Destiny's not your jam, go ahead and head over to our site, horrorofcasitas.com. We have Slack, Discord. We play a whole bunch of different games together, be it, like Warcraft, Overwatch. We have a Minecraft server that's available. Or, of course, Destiny. If you guys want to sign up, we'll play together. We'll need a fire team and all that set for when raids and whatnot get rolled around. But I think that's going to do it. We covered quite a bit here and kept it condensed, unlike last episode. So, if you want to write the show, it's eyesupguardianpodcast@gmail.com. We can talk about whatever you like. We'll have a set of topics to cover next week. And otherwise, we'll see you in game. Show's recorded live Thursdays at or around 9 a.m. Central. Sorry for the delay this morning. I had to clean up the house a bit. It was driving me nuts. But still waiting on approval for the podcast feed, so you can check those out once they get activated. Otherwise, there is an RSS link available at the Patreon, so patreon.com/zeroand09. That's ZEROAND09. There is a link for the RSS audio feed. You can go ahead and copy that, put it into your player of choice. But otherwise, the live video will get posted up to YouTube at a later time. So we will see you next week.